There will now be an opportunity for silent prayer or meditation. Thank you. Please be seated. The Secretary will read the order of the day.
Debate on vote number 13, Public Works and Infrastructure Appropriation Bill.
I will now recognize the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Sounds good, doesn't it? House Chairperson, my colleague, the Deputy Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, the Honourable Sihle Zikalala, provincial MECs that are here today, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, the Honourable Piri, members of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure, the Director General for the Department, Mr. Sifiso Mdakane, Deputy Director Generals, CEOs of entities, Honourable members. If you had asked me 3 weeks ago if I thought that I would be standing here before you presenting the budget vote for this department, I would have taken a bet against it. It seemed an impossible idea that different political parties would work together to form a government of national unity, a reality which has now given me the opportunity to lead a department as critical as this. But here I am today, and it's an opportunity that I want to commit every possible working second to. I will work day and night to make this department one which delivers a South Africa that we can all be proud of, and which delivers the services that this Constitution demands of it. I want to promise that this department will be transparent, so that we build public trust that holds us accountable to deliver. This promise will be our guiding light in every decision we make. Similarly, each program and branch needs to adhere to this commitment that we make to South Africa, and it is what the public must hold us accountable to. I also want to thank the President of the Republic, Cyril Ramaphosa, and the leader of the Democratic Alliance, John Steenhuisen, for entrusting me with the responsibility to serve all South Africans through this government of national unity. I want to ask each of you to join me and us in this incredible journey as we work to turn South Africa into a construction site. We must become obsessed with infrastructure-led economic growth that will ignite job creation throughout our country. House Chair, we present this budget vote a few days before we commemorate Mandela Day, a day in which all of us are called to serve to make a difference in the lives of our communities. As we embark on this crucial journey of the GNU, to grow our country together and to improve the lives of the most vulnerable, we're inspired by the message of the former president who said, "May your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears." On Thursday, I will be leading our team to celebrate Mandela Day by lending our time and effort to a project in Langa and invite all of you to join us. As the minister responsible for this department, I want to bring a new hope to our country that will see our department playing a leading role in growing an inclusive South Africa through infrastructure-led growth. Infrastructure development must become a top priority by putting in place measures that will increase the ratio of gross fixed capital formation from 13 to 30% of GDP. We must work relentlessly to build new public-private partnerships to roll out energy, communications, water, and transport infrastructure. We must amplify the social development goals and use and impact them to leverage private sector involvement through procurement. And we must get more value for our money when the state procures goods and services that actually benefits local communities and not just a few. We must ramp up maintenance and the utilization of the state property asset portfolio, and we must reposition the department to assume its role as a strategic catalyst for job creation. We must build a new culture based on excellence, transparency, and success planning throughout our department, which is evidence-based and which ensures good decision-making. And we must eliminate red tape and support the growth of small business. We call on all South Africans and stakeholders in the construction and property sectors to join us on this journey to build a South Africa together by turning it into a construction site. And we intend to add urgency and by bringing new ideas to the table. Our country lies in us working together, using our collective strength to build a country that we are all shareholders of. And we must embark on a new path to build relationships with stakeholders and business to invest in our country. With relentless determination, we will get more cranes in the skyline by creating an enabling environment for the private sector to invest in. But we must also ensure that we address the challenges that impedes the implementation of infrastructure, which includes the disruption and hijacking of construction sites, projects not being completed on time and within budget, corruption and poor project management, construction industry safety standards not being adhered to, and we must strengthen the professionalism of our department. Honourable members, infrastructure serves the foundations of our nation's economy by providing the necessary physical and social systems for sustained growth and development. Through infrastructure networks, we can improve productivity, attract investment, and enhance the well-being of every person in this country. Transformation and jobs can only come from economic growth. We must therefore support every entity that can help us achieve this target. In this regard, Infrastructure South Africa is expected to lead us in creating a conducive environment for private sector investment. ISA will receive extra special attention as our special purpose vehicle that will focus on ensuring that we have well-packaged projects that are financially viable, catalytic in nature, and are delivered on time with all stakeholders meeting their commitments. I'm absolutely committed to see ISA become the focal point of infrastructure in our country. We can no longer afford a fragmented approach to infrastructure delivery, which has only delivered indifferent results up to now. To this end, I've engaged the President and the Cabinet for ISA to play a bigger role, as well as highlighting the need to broaden our funding models for infrastructure development. I will be having further meetings with both the Minister of Finance and Treasury very soon to look at how better we can work together. House Chair, the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure is the biggest landlord in South Africa. The truth is that there's no accurate picture on what we own as a department. We've committed ourselves to ensuring in the medium term we will deliver a comprehensive asset register for the government and the owners of these assets, which is the people of our country. And we will make it public in the interests of transparency. We've pledged to address the mismanagement and underutilization of government assets. There is an urgent need to establish a systematic approach to asset management through a credible and integrated asset register. Such a register will aid in making informed decisions regarding asset life cycle management, from acquisition to maintenance, to either repurposing them or disposing them via lease or sale. We must be in a position to track all assets to prevent loss or theft and maintenance compliance with reporting standards. As I've said publicly, we must ensure that public assets are used for public good, and this is non-negotiable in the way forward. The total value of properties under the custodian of our department is around 154 billion rand as of the 31st of March 2024. This value is correct so that we leverage state assets to fund maintenance and building projects. Research has been initiated with unidentified, including islands, in the rest of the country with the assistance of the Surveyor General. And this will enable the department to pay rates and taxes to municipalities in terms of the Municipal Property Rates Act. The department has successfully vested properties against its target of 27,000, translating into 92% of vesting property. But we plan to vest a further 420 in the coming financial year. But we must speed up the completion of the vesting project to ensure it is completed in the shortest possible time. House Chair, the leasing portfolio has grown significantly in the past due to a lack of suitable government properties. User departments have increasingly opted for leased properties, leading to a budget exceeding 5 billion rand per year. This is unsustainable, and the department goal is to reduce the department's leasing portfolio. I want to see government departments leasing government buildings in CBDs, not just those in areas with nice sea views. We must use our buildings to lead inner city regeneration. And it's against this backdrop that we've made a call for the prioritization of available state properties for accommodation and offices for government departments. Similarly, I want to work with the public to ensure that we are able to identify buildings and lands that are a threat to public health and safety. This will allow us to either intervene or look to partners in other spheres of government who may want to take this asset over for public good. House Chair, furthermore, we seek another 10 billion rand in private sector investment in our properties over the next 10 years. We will look at the commercialization of our spaces, which includes advertising, parking systems, and conference facilities. In addition, there will be a greater focus on the itemized billing, user charge model, disposal of obsolete assets, and lease of underutilized assets. This will allow us to generate much needed revenue. And we will continue to renegotiate high rentals for the remaining leased properties to achieve more favorable terms. House Chair, the department will strengthen social facilitation and improve communication with stakeholders and communities on infrastructure projects. These are important for managing community expectations and community buy-in. Equally, the department will work closely with law enforcement to bring an end to work stoppages.
Honourable Minister, will you just take your seat for a moment?
Sure.
There's a member.
House Chair, this is Franz Mfiki, M. Kandoli from Eastern Cape, Ndimele MK. Kunengxaki enkulu xa efuna uthatha umbuzo wami aphinde futhi awuphendule. I-construction mafia zixakile. Intoni
Okay.
plan yakhe?
Thank you, Honourable Member. The rules state that we first hear from the Minister whether he's prepared to take a question at this time. Honourable Minister.
I'll take questions at the end, but I know some parties are very close to the construction mafia, so it's a bit difficult for them. Lawlessness will not be tolerated. We must seize all opportunity to end violence, intimidation, and extortion.
How can you just respond like that? You're very rude.
There's another hand, Honourable Member.
Honourable Chair, is the Minister prepared to take a question? Because what he just
Thank you.
said
We will
now-
first inquire from the
Please,
Minister whether he
please.
will take a question.
Otherwise,
Honourable Minister.
we will respond.
House Chair, with your indulgence, I'll take questions at the end.
Yeah, thank you. So the Minister has indicated, I would think, to all members that he will, if there's time left at the end, entertain questions. Is that on another matter, Honourable Member?
No, Chair. The Minister just insulted us. He says some parties are very close to construction mafias. You can't generalize on a statement like that.
Honourable
You are
Member,
insulting us. You
Honourable
must
Member,
withdraw that.
Honourable Member, the Minister didn't name any parties. So
No, he
so I
is
don't know
insinuating.
whether you are,
No,
whether
he's
you are
insinuating
self-identifying.
that we are closer to construction mafias, therefore we are the ones
Yeah, I didn't hear
that are
that.
distracting
Thank
construction
you.
in this country.
Honourable Minister, continue.
You can't do that.
Forward.
Chair,
Is that on another matter? I have ruled on the previous matter. Yes?
Chair, I appeal to you. Please don't be biased. We are going to collapse this house. Just take it easy. Protect everyone here. We are the chair. We are not there as a DA member. We are the
Yeah.
chair of parliament. Please.
Thank you,
Zama,
Honourable
Zama.
Member. I will carefully consider your advice. Thank you, Honourable Minister. Continue. Yes, Honourable Member.
Thank you, House Chair. He must withdraw. You can't say some political
Honourable
parties.
Member.
There's represented political parties here. If he wants to say that, he must come and bring a substantive motion to that, or he must withdraw.
Honourable Member.
Or he must mention who are the political parties. No, it's not right.
Thank
We're
you.
not involved as the EFF, so we don't know.
Yeah,
Because
Honourable
he's
Member.
leaving that thing hanging. We're not the DA that hires people from outside of South Africa and murders them there in
Okay,
George.
thank
So
you.
he must withdraw.
I've heard you. Honourable Members, it is a standard ruling in this House that a general reference to parties or a party is acceptable. It is once you impugn the dignity of a member that the rules kick in. In the circumstances, the Minister didn't transgress the rules. As it is, you have your opportunity in this debate to address that matter. This is now a
House
final
Chair,
ruling.
he
on
has
this.
made a criminal statement. He's said that there are criminal
Honourable Member.
parties here. He must substantiate it or he must withdraw. It's criminality to be
Honourable
involved
Member.
in a construction.
Honourable
mafia.
Member.
No, you're not serious.
You are
Maybe
now-
you should just withdraw being House Chair.
You are now disrespecting the chair.
You
I've
are
made my ruling.
disrespecting what this house is supposed to stand for. You cannot have a minister stand there and say there are political parties who are criminals. He doesn't give a substantial motion. I'm a part of a political party. We all part of
Honourable
a political.
Member.
He is saying we are criminal. We want to know which parties are criminal. and
Honourable
why.
Member, once again, you will have your opportunity in this debate. What you are now doing is disrupting the debate. I will not tolerate it further. Honourable Minister, continue.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to be clear.
Honourable Minister, there's a few more hands. If it's on a new matter, I'll entertain it. Otherwise, I will not.
You don't know what it's about. Just take the hand.
There at the back.
No.
Thank you, Chair. Sicela ukuthi wemhlale ngaphambili. Ungasimemezi mawuphendula. Azizona izingane zakho. Okwesibili zama ukuthi uyimele lapho. Ungafevi nithi lento yeni GNU. Zama ukuthi uyimele lapho ukuze sikuhloniphe nawe sihloniphe. Siyabonga.
Yeah, thank you, Honourable Member. Those points have already been made. Is there another point of order? We can't continue on the same point. Please continue then.
Thank you, House Chair. I will please acknowledge you to call me Honorable Hlangweni.
Yeah.
Because you know my name, and I don't know why you are not calling or acknowledging me as Honorable Hlangweni. Secondly, this may be the proudest moment for a matriculant that hangs out on Tinder. But as I've warned earlier on, House Chair, please stick to the rules. We are all members of this house. You are the chairperson of everyone here. Please don't do what other house chairs have done and stick to party political imaginations. Please treat us all the same.
Thank you, Honourable
Adhere
Member.
to the rules. And please, we can't be abused by some matriculant that hangs out on Tinder to look for love.
Yeah. Honourable Ntlangwini, thank you for that input. I am fully committed to protect the freedom of speech of all members. As it is, I think in your input just now, you also came perilously close, if not crossed the line, to insult. Let me plead with members. Let's allow the Minister to conclude his speech and let's then debate. Thank you.
Thanks, our chairperson. Unlike some members, I have nothing to hide in this house, but some want to hide their associations with other people. I want to be very clear, Chair, that anyone who seeks to hold back infrastructure projects will be treated as an enemy of the state and they will be dealt with appropriately. There is no room for negotiations or delays to our projects. Chair, it's unthinkable in 2024 we still have pit toilets in our schools. This remains a risk to the lives of our children. I cannot, in good consciousness, allow this danger to continue without urgent intervention. In this regard, I have engaged the Minister of Basic Education, the Honourable Sihle Zikalala, and we have agreed in principle that we need to collectively declare war on these pit toilets. We stand ready to support and work together with the Department of Basic Education to eradicate them. We will be meeting with Treasury and MECs in Public Works and Education on how these pit toilets will be eradicated once and for all. Chair, I want to also then move on to the main budget vote, which is seeing a decline in our allocation. And this is something that urgently needs to be reconsidered and which we will be lobbying Treasury about. The budget of 7.6 billion rand, one of the biggest components, goes to EPWP. And this is something that we need to reimagine and relook at as to how we can give more people more skills and not to be stuck in EPWP for the rest of their lives. Chair, one of the big concerns that we have is around PMTE, which is the Property Management Agency of the entity. We must focus on our development of precincts to be able to cut costs and on how to integrate government to work better and smarter together. Chairperson, on the issue of payments and debt collection, government at the moment currently owes us 12.6 billion rand. We must make sure that government departments pay us what is duly owed to us. And as the executive authority, I will be engaging affected ministers of offending departments to ensure that they pay what is rightfully due to us, or else we may have to consider every other options which may not be to their liking. Furthermore, we will be engaging with the Auditor General of South Africa to
Honourable Member.
Yes, it's just on a point of order. With regard to the minister might be misleading the House by not mentioning the biggest corrupter of that department, John Du Plessis, who owes the department lots of money.
Honourable Member,
and
I'm
is
not
paying.
hearing a point of order. That's
John
a point
Du
of
Plessis
debate.
SKJ Africa is the biggest
As it
corrupter
is,
and the owner.
Your party have speakers in this debate. Please alert them to your argument and they can put it further.
Thank you, Chair. We will be engaging with the Auditor General to request that departments that don't pay us on time have audit claims made against them. Chair, in conclusion, I want to say that this budget hopefully will be able to lay the ground for the 7th administration to turn South Africa into a construction site. In undertaking our task to rebuild South Africa through infrastructure that delivers economic growth and opportunities, we commit to work and use the mandate of the department to deliver the South Africa of our dreams. We must do it because no one else will. But we can't do it alone. That is why I will be looking to establish a number of stakeholder forums and an advisory committee to my office, which will allow South Africans to share their ideas on how best to use public assets for public good and how to turn South Africa into a construction site. I wish to extend my gratitude to the Deputy Minister for his support and to the department staff headed by the Director General, to my incredible head of my private office, Lebo Romela, to my parliamentary officer, Michael Bailefeld, for all the support they have given me over the last while. And I want to thank you, honourable members, for your support, your counsel, your constructive criticism, and above all, sharing in accountability and transparency to take South Africa forward. I want to also acknowledge all the wonderful messages, and I invite you to join me and us to build South Africa together. I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, the first speaker to react to the budget will be the Honourable Piri of the ANC. Order. Please, you've not yet heard one word from this honourable member. And Please allow her.
Ke a leboga modulasetulo. A ke tamiše molekgotla petition ministera le letsogo la gage ntate Zikalala. Malekgotla petition a leng gona kwa godimo a di-province tše fapafapaneng, in particular because of it's our former colleague Dibulelo, the MEC from Free State. Members and South Africans, allow me to present and talk to you about the budget. And indeed, this is not just a table, we are not just tabling a table numbers, but it's not just the official work, but the budget has everything to do with the needs of our people, the needs of our families. It is about the needs of labor and the needs of the business, because labor and business must remain strong partners that collaborate with the government and that serves every household, every person, no matter who they are or what they believe in. We are dealing here with a budget of South African nation from one part to the land and the other. Honorable House Chair, the construction is that the heart of infrastructure development to deliver the economic construction and recovery plan, and is also the core of work of the department and its entities. Government infrastructure project accounts for about 40% of our construction in the country, adding some 3% to the GDP. This enables the development of schools, as the minister has said, sanitation, health facilities, communication, transport, and other social facilities. This forms a critical part of the social weight contained in the budget and makes the budget votes an instrument of transformation. The department has 5 critical programs with a budget of 7.6 billion. This budget is a decrease from the budget of the last financial year that we really regret, which was 8.8 billion. This budget reflects a decrease of 1.2 billion, or approximately 13.6%. This means that the department will have to achieve its programs and targets with less financial resources. This means that the department must engage in an impactful and qualitative spending. There's no room for fruitless, wasteful expenditure, as we call it irregular expenditure. Irregular expenditure is a form of poor planning. There must not be a room for any form of corruption, and in such cases, the law must take its course, and I heard the minister committing that. The bulk of the budget is taken up by the administration program, as it only constitutes some 13% of the budget, while 87% of the budget is geared towards transfer to entities and provinces as well as municipalities as a conditional grants for implementation of critical service delivery programs, such as expanded public works program, which is providing job creation opportunities and skilling of artisans. In the 6th administration, EPWP reached its target for creating 5 million jobs over the midterm strategic framework. The department has 5 programs relating to government immovable property and construction and built environment. Other programs of the department includes administration, intergovernmental coordination, extended public works, property and construction, industry policy and research, and the Prestige program. In the past financial year, there's been improvement in the corporate governance and financial control of the department and its entities. The AG reflects that the department and most of its entities received unqualified report, and we want to say we need not to regress on this and must improve. One entity received a qualified report. We are expecting the same standard to prevail in financial year with all around improvement. It's more needed to be done to grow this success to the next level. The department has much contributed to job creation, infrastructure development, and reform land. The DPWI, through its entities, the property management and trading in entity, is the custodian and the portfolio manager of government immovable assets and needs to enhance the value of the property as well as ensure that this property portfolio serves as a source of revenue for government. The property management and entity has made progress in terms of improving its audit outcome, and further progress is sought in this financial year. However, there are numbers of prominent problems which afflict the entity. Maintenance, which enhances property value, remains a source of concern and needs to be dealt with. The completion of immovable asset register, Minister, remains a critical issue requiring the attention of the executive and the department. A solution must be found to shorten the periods in which this task is projected to be completed. The problem with the non-payments of rentals by the departments need to be resolved. The process with the National Treasury in order to reduce the overdraft of the PMTE. We are aware, Minister, that you gave us a report. Your major problem is on correctional service, and we wish as a portfolio to engage with correctional service to pay you. The cost of leasing property from the private sector must be reduced. The weak control environment cited by the AG for leasing property needs to be fixed in financial year, as the corruption has no place in our environment and comes at a high cost to our fiscals. In such cases, the law indeed must really take its course. Infrastructure South Africa was formed during the 6th Parliament to facilitate the development of strategic infrastructure projects. To prepare this project, 563.4 million over the periods ahead is allocated in the infrastructure development. Coordination sub-program in property and construction industry policy and research program. This will enable the development of feasibility and feasibility studies to enable bankable business projects, which also attract private investment for infrastructure development. Minister, we call upon you to speed the investigation of the deed that happened to George. As other members were calling upon yourself, we want more and thorough investigation on that, not forgetting the washing line that happened in a Bait Bridge, Border Gate. We want you to speedily name and shame and also suspend those who are responsible for such things. House Chair, allow me to say and support this budget vote from the ANC side, and not forgetting that I'm the chairperson of the portfolio and we are going to work together. And in doing so, we'll make it a point that we are going to work together and unfold. Indeed, this government is led by the GNU, and if you are not part, it's not our problem. I thank you, Honorable.
Order. Honorable members, we continue with the debate. The next speaker is the Honorable Marais on behalf of the DA.
House Chairperson, congratulations to the Minister and Deputy Minister on their respective appointments, and also to the Chairperson of this Portfolio Committee elected. Today we consider the budget vote of a portfolio that is the backbone of any thriving nation: public works and infrastructure in South Africa. Public works and infrastructure play a pivotal role in the development and progress of any country, and South Africa is no exception. Infrastructure is the lifeblood of any economy. It encompasses roads, bridges, railways, airports, ports, energy systems, water supply, and telecommunications. A well-developed infrastructure not only facilitates the movement of goods and people, but also attracts investments, creates jobs, and improves the overall quality of life for citizens. In South Africa, we have made significant strides in developing our infrastructure over the years. The construction of world-class stadiums for the 2010 FIFA World Cup, the expansion of major ports like Durban and Cape Town, and the improvement of road networks across the country are just a few examples of our commitment to infrastructure development. However, despite these achievements, there are still challenges that need to be addressed. One of the most pressing issues are the lack of maintenance of existing infrastructure. Many roads, bridges, and public buildings are in dire need of repair and upkeep. This not only poses a safety hazard to citizens, but also hampers economic growth and development. Furthermore, there is a need for increased investment in new infrastructure projects to meet growing needs of our population. Rapid urbanization and population growth place a strain on our current infrastructure, necessitating the construction of new roads, public transportation systems, and affordable housing. As the Minister has repeatedly said, he wants South Africa to become a construction site, expanding and upgrading of existing infrastructure, whereby we as a department contribute to increased job creation. Another critical aspect of public works in South Africa is the provision of basic services such as water and sanitation to all citizens. Access to clean water and proper sanitation is a basic human right. Yet, many communities in South Africa still lack these essential services. It is imperative that the government prioritizes the provision of these services to ensure the health and well-being of all its citizens. So, Chairperson, we as a portfolio committee and department must work together through partnerships with other departments to achieve these goals. Chairperson, on maintenance strategies, the government and other stakeholders in South Africa are working on the developing and implementing better maintenance strategies to prolong the lifespan of infrastructure assets. This includes regular inspections, productive maintenance techniques, asset management systems, and investing in training and skills development for maintenance personnel. Chairperson, on public-private partnerships, in an effort to address the infrastructure backlog and improve maintenance practices, the South African government has increasingly turned to public-private partnerships to involve coordination between the public sector and private companies to finance, build, and maintain infrastructure projects. Chairperson, on community involvement, engaging local communities in public works and maintenance activities is crucial for ensuring the sustainability and success of infrastructure projects. Community participation can help in identifying local needs, ensuring proper usage of and maintenance of infrastructure, and fostering a sense of ownership among residents. Chairperson, on technology and innovation, embracing technology and innovation in public works, efficient processes, cost saving, and improved service delivery. South Africa is exploring technologies such as asset management software, IoT sensors for monitoring infrastructure, and data analytics for predictive maintenance. In conclusion, public works and infrastructure are vital components of a prosperous and inclusive society. As we look to the future, it is imperative that we continue to invest in the development and maintenance of infrastructure in South Africa. By doing so, we can create a more sustainable and resilient society that benefits all its citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, honourable members. Honourable members, I'll now recognise the Honourable Reddy of the MK Party. It might be a maiden speech, although he's had many an intervention already.
The House Chair, Minister, Deputy Minister, the DG, and your team, honourable colleagues. I'm speaking also to our Umkhonto we Sizwe ground forces, guerrillas, commanders out there. the millions of South Africans who are looking to Umkhonto to bring them hope in this country, I want to greet all of you. Chris Hani once said that those who were once oppressed may soon become the new oppressors. And what we see happening and what we see unfolding before us is exactly that. In fact, in this committee, if you look at what has happened, it's a tragedy and a shame. I'm actually reduced to tears when I see a minister, a former minister, whom I know very well, highly qualified, 3-4 degrees with a master's degree, somebody who has been in the struggle, but his only sin is that he happens to be black under this GNU. He has been demoted to deputy minister, and he deputizes for a matriculant. That is what the GNU is all about. And you want to celebrate this GNU today? It is a shame and a shock. ANC leaders will be turning in their graves if they see the behavior of some of these Ramaphosa ANC members in parliament today. It's a shocking assault on the majority of South Africans who have been looking to them to bring them some form of hope. I stand before you today as a member of Umkhonto we Sizwe party led by President Jacob Zuma. We carry the hopes, the dreams, and the aspirations of the majority of South Africans who wallow in poverty and whose future seem to have been bleak until we've come onto the scene. We will not be fooled into thinking that everyone here are our friends. In fact, we have many here who are enemies of the people of this country. What we see today is a compromise, like the constitution of this country, a plan by the handlers of Ramaphosa and the former oppressor, the DA, to steal and destroy the future of the black African child in this country. This carefully orchestrated arrangement
Honourable
serves...
Member, please just take your seat for a moment. There's a point of order. Honourable members, you will all be aware that order. You will all be aware that there is a parliamentary practice not to interrupt the speaker when they are making a maiden speech, but that's on the condition that they don't venture into controversial territory. Honourable member, what's your point of order?
The order, Chair, is as follows, that the honorable member ready. Is addressing the president, honorable president of the republic, and creating aspersion that the president is a handler. That is the basis and the order that I'm trying to rise on.
On a point of order, you must withdraw, Chair. He can't say to an honorable member, it's not honorable. That is an insult. He must withdraw that. All of us are honorable members here. Please, Chair, that man must withdraw.
Honourable Nkitama, I have not recognized you. So for us to work within the rules, please in future don't speak unless you've been recognized. Honourable member on the podium, it is part of our rules to refer not to members of this House, and the same courtesy is afforded to the president of the country by name or first name only. So in future, please at least refer to the president as Mr. Ramaphosa. For the rest, honourable members, I'm protecting this member's freedom of speech. Others have made other comments as part of debate. The member is debating. Please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Ramaphosa.
Chairperson.
So what these
On a
people,
point
the
of
enemies of this revolution are doing
Chair.
is they are celebrating the fact that
Chair.
over...
No, thanks so much, Chairperson. Thanks so much, Chair. With due respect, can you please call the honorable member who said the honorable member is not an honorable member to apologize? Can you please do that? He must withdraw.
Honourable
He's
member,
very out of order. We are not going to allow him to treat us
honourable
like
members,
that.
they might
We are
have been-
all honorable members in this house.
Thank you.
So the member must withdraw. Thank you.
I've not heard somebody who were either raising a point of order. or,
nje
on the
ukuthi
floor
uthini.
doing that.
Siyakutshela nje ukuthi ushilo.
There might have been an interjection to that effect. So let me remind all members, as is the case with the president, let's refer to one another in respectful terms. And if you have reason to believe that any member is not an honorable member, please furnish the House with a substantive motion to that effect. Thank you. Please continue.
On a point of order, Chair. On a point of order, Chair. Chairperson,
Yes, honorable member.
please respect us. We are all here representing the people who voted for us. We are all honorable. This honorable member has explicitly said, Honorable Reddy is not honorable. Now, he must withdraw that. We can't continue with this matter without him withdrawing.
Let
That is being
me
disrespectful.
inquire whether he wants to say it on the record, honorable member.
It's not me, I never said that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is this one?
Yeah. The honorable member next to the member who made the
Mike Tyson, Chair.
honorable member. Did you say that the honorable Reddy is not honorable?
I did not say that thing, but you must not say this one. Who's this one here? I'm also honorable. You can't just say this one.
Thank you, honorable members.
Mike Tyson.
Order. Once again, a kind reminder, let's treat each other with respect. The honorable member says he did not say that. For now, I will leave it at that. If any of you can, we will also look at Hansard if you so wish. If it is captured there, we will come back to the House. Honorable Reddy, please continue.
Thank you, House Chair. So what we see today is that there are enemies of the struggle who are celebrating the fact that over 55% of our country's population, especially Black South Africans, live in abject poverty. Youth unemployment rates in this country is the highest in the world, and our economy, including the JSC and big construction tenders, remain dominated by racist whites. The future of the Black child has never been on more shakier ground than it is today. So, House Chair, let's get straight into this budget and let's unmask what is really happening here and why the MK party will not be supporting this budget. This budget has been slashed like all other budgets. You've heard the minister speak about the cuts in the budget, and let me tell you why. Over 1 billion rand had to be found suddenly overnight to accommodate a GNU, to bring in additional ministers that were never planned. And the cost of that is coming out of the budgets of all these departments. And who's paying for it? Our people on the ground, those that are looking to us to give them hope. We are not here for name to be called honorables and all that fancy stuff. We're not here for that. We're here because we have a far greater task. We are here to bring hope to the people that have put us here. We have not forgotten those that have put us here. One day when we go into the pearly gates, some of us are going to go to heaven, others are going to go to hell. And when we go there, we are going to meet people like Oliver Tambo. We're going to meet people like Chris Hani. We're going to meet Hector Peterson. And when they look at us, they must say to us, you've done a good job. You've continued the fight. But unfortunately, some of us on this side here, when they go there, they will look at them and say, I know you're not. Get away from us. You have abandoned the struggle and the fight. So that is what we are here for, my comrades and enemies in this house. Let's look at lies. The lies that have been spoken. Some of you may know about a character called Pinocchio. Pinocchio, every time Pinocchio lied, the nose grew bigger. So we have a big nose, and the nose gets bigger every time a lie is spoken. What were the lies? The lies were, we're going to create jobs. There was no jobs that were creating. In fact, we were shedding jobs. Instead of government hiring people, government was firing people. The same, the nose started growing bigger. Then we were told that load shedding will end. It never ended, became worse. The nose got bigger. We were told that the economy will be shared among Black people in this country. The nose grows bigger. So you figure out who that nose belongs to. The EPWP allocation in this budget has been slashed by 27%. And you know what this means? It means more South Africans are going to be put out on the street without a job. How does it feel today? Where's your conscience that you are going to support a budget that's going to put thousands of people out on the street and they're not going to have food to feed their children? That is the reality. In eThekwini municipality in KZN alone, in the past 2 weeks, 10,000 EPWP workers have been put out of work because this department failed to honor what President Zuma started. He started a program where government will be hiring people through government departments, EPWP in particular, 6 million work opportunities through the EPWP program. And what did Mr. Ramaphosa say? He said, government will not be employing people. He said, the private sector will start to do that. And yet during apartheid, there were no whites in apartheid that were unemployed. Do you know that? There were no whites. Even an uneducated, unskilled white who maybe just had a matric had a job. They gave them a job somewhere. And today when this government tries to do the very same thing for the black people that they represent, what are we told by Mr. Ramaphosa? That government must not employ its people. And we are sitting here and trying to say that we want to support this budget. How can we go back and face our voters and our members and our supporters in our communities and tell them this is what you've done? You've taken the food out of their tables. This is a shame, and it is something we cannot support as Mkhonto Wesizwe. Some of us, you want to turn a blind eye to corruption. Every time rogue politicians and officials loot state coffers, the poorest pay the price. Friends, in this department, the minister announced 3 million rand that was being lost to cybercrime. Announced that. And we can also tell you that we've got information that Jean Duplessis, he is the Mark Juster of this department, owning a company called SKG Africa Consulting. Also needs to be investigated. But what do? They rush this budget in half an hour presentation. They want us to support it. When these things happen, you know there's something they want to hide. Mr. Minister, you go deeper in this budget. There's something there that they're keeping away from you as well. I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker, Honourable Members, is the Honourable Matthijs. The Honourable Matthijs, we have been informed it's a maiden speech, but I'm quite sure I've seen her here
Maiden
before.
speech, no interruptions. Thank you, House Chair. It is my maiden speech, so no interruptions. So for those of you who don't know, the 26th of July movement is celebrating 11 years of the struggle for economic freedom in our lifetime. And this year we're hosting our celebrations in Kimberley, the Northern Cape, on Saturday, the 27th of July. So we are inviting all progressive, the word is progressive, forces who have not abandoned the struggle for the return of the land without compensation. The EFF is here today, despite what doomsayers have said, that we won't survive. And we have survived this long because we did not get here because we were easily intimidated by the establishment's propaganda machine. So we salute our leadership and we salute our ground forces for keeping it together. Now let's deal with white privilege. That white privilege that the DA ministers are convinced that their skin color qualifies them to lead complex departments, such as the Department of Public Works, a department that is responsible for providing accommodation that needs all organs of state, to provide accommodation needs to all organs of state, and building and maintenance of a sizable portfolio of properties. It is only an unapologetic white privilege that can flaunt itself as capable, even in the absence of decent education, and unashamedly lead a highly educated deputy minister. And it is only a House Negro political party that allows such white supremacy to flourish here in our country. However, That is not our immediate concern because we know that over time, this mediocrity of white privilege in the absence of tested education will be exposed. Let's deal with some substantive policy and service delivery issues. Now, the property market is central to how economies function, how jobs are created, and how we produce and industrialize a nation. For the past 30 years, the reality is that the Department of Public Works has been reduced to an administration office for lease agreements and selling government properties and land in corrupt dealings. We have officials who are employed full-time and they are preoccupied with lease agreements. They are abandoning state-owned properties in central business districts for inflated leases in developed office spaces. And when we see the building of public infrastructure, the tender process, it is corrupt, prices are inflated, and after the property is actually handed over to the state, the workmanship is terrible. We have too many white elephants, and we're talking about white elephants now, that are hospitals and schools that are built and they are never used. As the economic freedom fighters, we maintain that construction of public infrastructure is the most strategic for economic growth, for job creation, and also for providing a sustainable solution for providing accommodation to all organs of state. And for us to achieve this, we must establish a state-owned construction company, which we've been saying this since we entered Parliament in 2014. And unlike the current configuration of public works, we must create a construction company that actually does the building. It is a company that hires engineers, it hires architects and artisans and professionals that are required to build a state-owned construction company with internal capacity. And with such capacity, we can extend the function and the scope of such a state-owned construction company to build roads and to build houses and to eradicate the backlog. There is a massive backlog of housing, particularly for where African people reside. And we can even extend the scope and function of such a company to public maintenance. As you can see, our hospitals are falling apart, our schools are falling apart because we have to issue tenders just to clean a toilet or to fix a toilet. This is the only way we are able to turn this Department of Public Works into something meaningful. It is the only way that we will be able to deal with the criminality of that construction mafia. And it is the only way that we will be able to build state capacity. And we can use this framework to develop a long-term funding framework and do away with situations where there is no allocation for maintenance and existing buildings are dilapidated. And we are confident that if we can create, and we're confident as the EFF because we do our work, we are they're educated, we don't have white skin privilege. We are confident that we could create more than 4 million jobs by eradicating just the infrastructure backlog that we have here in South Africa. So lastly, House Chair, you're going to give me more time because it's my maiden speech. No. Thought I'll try my luck. So lastly, House Chair and honourable members, public infrastructure must not be limited to the accommodation for organs of state, but it must be extended to a state-owned railway network construction company and a state-owned cement company. So the EFF, of course, we reject the racist, white supremacist budget vote of the ANC-DA coalition.
Honourable members, somebody's mic.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Honourable members, before we continue with the debate, the Honourable Mashele of the ANC Okay, then I won't be on the floor. Yeah. The Honourable Mashele has asked to rise on a point of privilege. Honourable Mashele.
House Chair, I rise to withdraw that the honorable member in civilian uniform is indeed an honorable member. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the interjection was then yours. Thank you. We continue. The next speaker is from the IFP, the Honorable Sihle. Order, order. Honorable member, I don't think your mic is on.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Speaker, Honorable House Chairperson, and Honorable Minister and Deputy Ministers and the entire members of Parliament. The Department of Public Works and Infrastructure has long been underperforming in various key areas. The building for which this department is responsible have seen years of neglect without much maintenance being undertaken. These buildings are central point by which the people of this country utilize government services. We often see people opting for alternatives rather than using substandard government facilities. In fact, for the Home Affairs, most people prefer to go to the bank, where the queues are managed well and the areas are generally safe and clean. With the issues of the state of our government buildings, we need to come up with a plan to prioritize maintenance and streamline the use of government buildings with the view of bringing better service delivery. It is clear that the budgetary constraints are affecting all funding allocation across the main budget and entities. This is unfortunately attributed to the slower and dwindling economy of South Africa. The DPWI, the PMTE, the ISA, and associated entities must comply with the Public Finance Management Act and financial management regulations. However, the current fiscal of challenges threaten to undermine their operation effectiveness and the ability to fulfill their mandate. This compliance is legally requirement at a foundational pillar to ensure accountability and transparency in managing public funds. This department certainly does not have the luxury of passing the blame on the lack of funds when housing and accommodation are crucial to the people. It is concerning the note that low targets set to vulnerable groups across the PWWI, PMTE, ISA, and related entities. This target reflects a lack of commitment to inclusivity and equity. The mass priority integrating and supporting vulnerable populations to ensure our development is far-reaching and just. The IFP support the committee commitment to ongoing monitoring of infrastructure South Africa and its work on large infrastructure projects. This oversight is essentially to ensure that these projects are complete efficiently and effectively, contributing to national development and economic growth. In conclusion, I urge the Minister to work alongside the Director General, the senior management to report on various critical areas, including the progress of expanding public works, where inclusively and transparently are key priorities of this administration. The integration of infrastructure development, functions, and operationalization must be configured to that EAPWP workers are not employed over a short term, but rather find job opportunities in what they have contributed to building in this way. There will be respect and ownership by the people of South Africa development. Honorable Chairperson, Minister, ngicabanga ukuthi ukhona umfowethu okhulume ngokuthi i-department public works inabantu abayiziqhwaga abathatha umsebenzi wabanye abantu bafuna 30% kulabo bantu. Ngicabanga ukuthi Honorable Chairperson i-serious le. kufanele ukuthi ithathe lenyathelo zayo. Ngaleyo ndlela ke iNkatha Freedom Party iyayemukela le budget. Ngiyathokoza.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Member. Is there somebody to take part on behalf of the PA in the House? We move on. For the Freedom Front Plus, I call to the podium the Honourable Van Staden.
Thank you, House Chairperson. I would like to convey my congratulations to the new Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure. I wish you all the best in your work, and we believe and trust that with the new government of national unity, you will radically change and turn this department around. With a budget allocation of 7.61 billion for 24-25, the time has come to turn this department around as it is facing serious problems. The policies of this department will have to be revisited, adjustments will have to be made, or replaced with new, fresh ideas. Provinsies en munisipaliteite sal verantwoording vir die komitee moet kom doen. Mense moet in die departement aangestel word wat beskik oor die nodige kennis, ondervinding en ervaring tesame met die nodige kwalifikasies om hierdie departement om te keer. Die vol van vakante poste veral op senior bestuursvlak sal gedoen moet word met leemtes wat hierdeur ontstaan het dringend op te los. Daar sal indringend gekyk moet word na die tenderprosedures omdat dit in die vorige termyne geweldige rooi vlae laat wapper het. Infrastruktuur Suid-Afrika se werksaamhede sal voldoende gemonitor moet word deur hierdie portefeulje komitee en hulle sal ook voldoende verslag moet kom lewer. Ons land se infrastruktuurprobleme is eindeloos. Ons paaie, spoorlywe, hawens, damme, elektrisiteitsinfrastruktuur, rioolaanlegte, waterinfrastruktuur, brûe, ons howe, ons hospitale, ons skole, ons polisiestasies en alle ander kort dringende ingryping en die algehele opgradering van ons bestaande infrastruktuur is broodnodig. Waar nodig sal nuwe infrastruktuur ook geskep moet word. Die departement sal ook gesprekke moet aanknoop met die departement van Binnelandse Sake oor die beveiliging van ons land se grensposte en grensdrade om die probleem van smokkelary en onwettige immigrasie vir eens en vir altyd op te los. En ek het gister dieselfde boodskap aan die minister van Binnelandse Sake ook oorgedra. Die Beitbrug-skandaal tydens die COVID-19 tydperk mag nie weer herhaal word nie en korrupsie, wanbestuur en wanadministrasie moet met wortel en tak uitgeroei word. Die Kosi-Baai grensprojek sal aandag moet kry wat dit verdien en die afhandeling daarvan sal dringend moet geskied. The construction mafia is another concern that needs urgent attention. So far, these mafias has cost the economy plus minus 68 billion rand. It is 61 billion more than this department's budget allocation for 24-25. The low generation of revenue through the PMT for 25 financial year is no surprise. The projection that the department will only collect the revenue to the total value of 1.79 million rand is a matter of concern. Hierdie probleem het ontstaan omdat die departement nie voldoende omsien na die staatse geboue en die instandhouding daarvan nie. Geboue is 'n bate en 'n belegging en indien dit nie onderhou word nie, val nie net die waarde van die geboue nie, maar dit word nutteloos en dit word betrek deur vandale. Die bate en die belegging wat groot inkomste moes genereer vir hierdie departement beteken nou absoluut niks. Maintenance plans on all government buildings, as well as the completion of an immovable asset register, needs to be dealt with the utmost importance. Ek sluit af met die volgende. Die Vryson Plus is gekant teen onteiening sonder vergoeding. Ons is ook daarteen gekant dat die onteieningsmagte by die minister gesetel is en ons glo dat daardie magte by 'n hoë hof hoort. Onteiening mag slegs vir openbare gebruik teen markverwante vergoeding geskied. Privaat eiendomsreg moet beskerm word en die huidige onteiening sonder vergoeding, agbare minister, moet eintlik geskraap word. Let's restore and rebuild. Thank you very much, House Chairperson.
Any member of Action SA in the House? The next speaker will be the Honorable Deputy Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure. Oh, Action SA. Sorry, we'll go back to Action SA.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Minister, the Deputy Minister, and all honorable members in this House today. Honorable Minister, in your opening remarks, you shared the department's vision to have South Africa as a construction site. We welcome this ideal, as we believe the current state of South Africa's economic infrastructure is undoubtedly the reason why South Africa cannot reach its full economic potential. And without urgent intervention, this crisis threatens to continue stifling economic growth, job creation, poverty, and inequality. Beyond the brick and mortar, Honorable Minister, we hope that your vision will create employment opportunities across the country in order to lift our people from poverty. As it stands, under the current EPWP framework, we do not see this happening. Honorable Minister, I hail from the dusty streets of Seshego, which is a township just in the outskirts of Polokwane, where I get to witness firsthand the scrabble of EPWP opportunities by my peers. And in recognizing that the only way they will get employment opportunities is through nepotism and political patronage, they join these political parties in the hopes that they will make a decent living. But much like the half-baked Nasi Spani scam, 6 months later, they go back and idle on our streets with no real prospect of a formal job because they are not equipped to enter the formal job environment. Minister, it is no secret that the EPWP is abused at local government level, but the problem does not lie in the implementation, but it lies straight at policy level. As it stands, I can tell you that it is not a model that inspires us to believe that we can escape the clutches of poverty or change sustainable unemployment levels, as the state only views it as unemployment aid, where government steps in as a social function to temporarily relieve our people from poverty through short-term contracts. As Action SA, we believe it needs to be remodeled as a function of economic prosperity, where we empower young people to be active, long-term participants in this economy. So to that end, we propose the following solutions. We ask you to insource EPWP workers where feasible and prioritize them to fill in vacant posts in municipalities and all entities. Our people deserve dignified work. We ask that you foster public-private partnerships where the private sector is incentivized to adequately train and equip them with critical skills so that when they exit the EPWP
Member?
program.
Will you just take a seat? There is a point of order.
Honorable House Chair, the Speaker create aspersion that the Gauteng employment program is a scam. No. So that I appeal, Honorable Chair, that she must withdraw because employment program cannot be a scam. This is not a fake.
Honorable members, as part of the rules, referral to any government program is actually not against or is not unparliamentary. If the speaker on the floor mentioned or cast aspersions on any specific person, I would have ruled on that. Thank you. Can you continue?
Thank you. We ask that you adopt recruitment systems not based on nepotism or political patronage, giving everyone an equal opportunity to participate in these programs purely based on merit and performance. And finally, I ask that you prioritize giving South Africans priority in each job sector, where it cannot be that when the economy is lifting, our people are last to be given preference in all job sectors. From engineers right down to bricklayers, South Africans must take preference. Honorable Minister, given the disheartening imminent mass EPWP job losses in eThekwini, we cannot, in good conscience, support this budget. Instead, we call for the reversal of the termination of EPWP contracts and urge this grand coalition to act responsibly and protect these jobs, as the decision will affect a lot of families. Thank you, Chair.
The Honorable Deputy Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Honorable House Chair, the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, Honorable Dean Macpherson, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Honorable Piri, Honorable MECs who are with us here, Honorable members, the Director General and the senior managers, CEOs and chairpersons of entities. As we mark the Nelson Mandela International Day on the 18th of July, we must draw inspiration from his courage, commitment, and resilience toward building a truly non-racial, non-sexist, equal, and prosperous society. We dare not linger to deliver on our government's commitment to use infrastructure development as the flywheel of the South African economy, job creation, and skills development. As the Department of Public Works, we will accelerate all effort aimed at transforming and growing both property and construction sector. It is a stunning and a concerning fact that the industry still resembles effects of apartheid and colonial system which require resoluteness to address. Led by the Council for Built Environment, the department finalized and adopted the Built Environment Professionalization and Skills Development Strategy for the public sector. This study reveals that only 14% of registered professionals in South Africa are women. 62% of registered professionals are white, followed by 25% African males, and 9% Indians, and 4% coloreds. The CBE has identified at least 11 interventions which to address these challenges. Through our professional services, the department contributes to the skills pipeline by supporting teaching of maths and physical science through our schools program. In the previous financial year, the department supported 27 schools and 191 learners enrolled in this program. In addition, 12 career expo were held, reaching to 30,600 attendees. During the 2023 academic year, 132 students were enrolled in universities through our bursary schemes. 26 students successfully completed in 2023 academic year, while 97 are continuing in this process. We've taken further 153 students for these bursary schemes. Through the Artisan Development Program, the department supported 101 trainees artisans, with 15 successfully acquiring their trade certificate. During the 2024-25 financial year, the department is targeting 1,200 beneficiaries to be supported through the schools program, bursaries, internship, and candidacy program. The CBE will focus on the following initiatives in the next or during this financial year: implementation of professionalization framework, inclusive and diversity program empowering women, people with disability, and the youth, advancing the Built Environment National Logbook. The Built program under the CIDP gained momentum in the financial year of 2023-24. The Build program involves the acceleration of skills development through infrastructure projects and structured development for emerging contractors. This program has benefited a lot, especially on ensuring the best standards in the industry. During the previous financial year, 160 women-owned contractors underwent construction management training program. This will be ramped up to include 2,000 women-owned contractors in the next 5 years. Honorable members, the Extended Public Works Program is a government-driven initiative to cushion the vulnerables. In 2023 financial year, more than 900,000 opportunities were established. 45 contractors under Vukupile program benefited. Number of NPOs were reached, and the target on supporting NPOs was fully attained at 100%. Not less than 12,452 participants were trained. The cabinet launched phase 5 of EPWP. And I want to say to the honorable member of Action SA, some of the issues you have raised are true and need urgent attention. And that's why we are saying we must remodel EPWP to ensure transparency on recruitment, proper coordination, skilling, and proper exit plan. During the next 5 years, we aim to ensure that EPWP reach at least 5 million target.
Honorable Deputy Minister, will you just sit for a moment? Your point of order, member?
Honorable Chair, I'm not sure whether Honorable Deputy Minister Kuzeni Cebise can take a question. Just after what he said now.
Thanks. I'm prepared to take a question just as we adjourned.
Honorable member, the minister is not, the deputy minister is not going to take the question. You can continue.
In the next financial year, the EPWP will focus on waste management, removal of alien invasive species, and clearing of river stream, cleaning of public building and spaces, road repair, blocks paving, maintenance, including pothole patching. The EPWP will also develop a plan to implement a one town, one recycling center plan in partnership with the private sector. With regard to the IDT, we also wish to recognize the contribution of the IDT that has been made in the creation of employment opportunities. The entity created a total of 77,235 work opportunities through EPWP. IDT awarded 7.217 billion worth of infrastructure contracts during the period under the review. Most of these went to women and the youth-owned entities. Agrima SA continues to be driven by its vision of becoming the lead regulator on non-standardized construction-related product. In the coming financial year, the AXA will focus on implementing eco-labeling scheme, implement a green building rating tool, implement ISO to ensure compliance. We once again want to say we dare not linger. As elected representatives of all the people of South Africa, we carry the hopes of more than 60 million people, many of whom live in abject poverty. We must intensify our effort of building the Welly-Sizwe bridges to improve safety of communities and school children, especially in rainy period in our rural areas. It is in the national interest to attract investment in the ocean economy and development of small fishing harbors in the coastal provinces of Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, and KwaZulu-Natal, as we draw lessons from the work we have already done in Western Cape. The high level of unemployment and poverty requires our resolute effort centered on decisive and practical interventions. These require commitment from all stakeholders, in particular government, public servant, the private sector, and civil society. Addressing thousands of people in 2005, former President Nelson Mandela said, I quote, "Like slavery and apartheid, poverty is not natural. It is man-made, and it can be overcome and eradicated by actions of human beings. Overcoming poverty is not a gesture of charity. It is an act of justice," close quote. Our work is not done. Let us roll our sleeves and get to work to build better communities. Together, we can do more. I thank you.
Is there a member of the ACDP? A member of the UDM? A member of RISE? A member of BOSA? The next member is the member of ATM, Honorable Mawaru. Mahal. My apologies, Honorable Mahal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, Minister, Deputy Minister, honorable members of the committee. I must start by saying that a minister and deputy minister, you are leading a very strategic department, which is the custodian of immovable assets, government's immovable assets. And that alone means that you must have an immovable asset register, which is credible. There is no way that you cannot have that. But unfortunately, the picture as of now is that the contract staff you have on immovable asset register is less than 48% of the staff that are focusing on the asset register are on contract. So there is no way abantu abasebenza beneqala bakusasa bangakhutshwa abafocus emsebenzini. So the earlier the better, that the focus is to make the point that the temporal staff is converted into a permanent staff. So come closer to DPSA and address that. As the biggest landlord of state properties, the current structure is inadequate to deal with the full credibility of the immovable asset register. Your department should fast track the Public Works Bill and be the sole custodian of all national land except land acquired by the state to address land reform initiative. The vesting is another critical point there, vesting of the state land, because as of now, some land are not vested by Department of Land Reform and Rural Development. So we have to come closer to that department to make the point that land property vesting has been done there. Because if the land is not vested, again, it goes back that you cannot have a credible immovable asset register. And again, there are lots of land which is unsurveyed, especially from the TBV states. So the land there is not surveyed, which gives a problem to municipalities. Because sometimes when they are busy doing e-service charges, it's difficult for them on an unsurveyed land to charge abantu. So Surveyor General, we close to 90, after 1994, Surveyor General's office started that work, but unfortunately, I can't get namhlanje, which means it is a serious problem that you need to come closer to it. Underutilized and vacant
assets should be made available for development with more coordination with provincial custodians to ensure optimal usage of state assets. The disposal process of estate land should be coordinated and monitored on a national level, maybe jointly with the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform.
Honorable member, your time is up. You can please finish your
On
sentence.
EPWP, we are fully supporting remodeling because as of now, ababantu baya abuse nje. Skills are needed there so that they can be employed permanently, so that at the end of the
Honourable
day,
member,
their
your
jobs
time
are
is up.
secured. Thank you very much. Just 2 minutes.
Following speaker is Honorable Mashlangu from the ANC. It will be his maiden speech. Honorable Mashlangu got.
Ngiyathokoza, Sihlalo.
Just draw your attention that the Honorable Mashlangu got 1 extra minute from Honorable Piri. Thank you.
Ngiyathokoza, Sihlalo. Ngiba ukuthatha leli thuba ngikulotshise uNgqongqoshe. Ngibuye ngilotshise nosekela Ngqongqoshe, ngilotshise wonke amalunga akhona la, ngilotshise umphakathi wonke weSouth Africa. Ngilotshise egameni le-ANC. Honorable Chairperson, at the height of our people's final march to freedom and on the eve of our 1994 democratic breakthrough, young people of South Africa sang, Oliver Tambo, Thetha noBhota, akhulula uMandela, uMandela zophatha. This can be loosely translated as Oliver Tambo speak with Botha to release Mandela so that he can govern. This was not only a call to release Nelson Mandela and other political prisoners from prisons, but it was also a declaration of their party to power and their state of readiness to govern. It was an expression of a desire to build a democratic South Africa, which at the center of will be massive infrastructure development in all parts of South Africa, which serve as an antithesis of apartheid spatial and infrastructural development, which built infrastructure on only urban areas. Madiba, the global icon, whom we'll be celebrating in exactly 2 days when we celebrate International Mandela Day, became the symbol of this massive infrastructure development, which saw different parts of the country access justice through the construction of courts and others made to feel safer in their communities through the construction of police stations by funds allocated to this budget vote. So today, we are not only allocating rands and cents to infrastructure projects, but we are continuing with the legacy of Nelson Mandela, which began 30 years ago after our democratic breakthrough, to use the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure to build a better life for all through building infrastructure which expand access to freedom and grow our economy. That is why, from a policy point of view, the Department of Public Works, through its program and project, as well as its budget vote, seeks, amongst other things, to ensure the correction of historical injustice of the past. Poverty, unemployment, inequality, and economic exclusion of majority remains a critical challenge which the country needs to overcome. Government aims to achieve inclusive economic growth and a development through economic reconstruction and recovery plan, which places economic development through infrastructure development, localization, job creation at the center of its strategy. According to the World Bank estimate, on average, developing countries currently invest annually 3 to 4% on their GDP infrastructure. Yet they will need to invest an estimate of 7 to 9% to achieve broader economic growth and poverty reduction goals. This understanding informs our allocation of funds in this today's budget. A critical program developed by the ANC government was the Extended Public Works Program. This program was created to reverse the effects of poverty and unemployment amongst working class, poor communities, and it is carried out through entities, provinces, municipalities. The program provides opportunities to unemployed people who are not necessarily able to or skilled to find employment. In this budget vote, the program has a budget of 2.25 billion, of which 1.86 billion is for actual employment project. In the past 5 years, the program was able to meet its MSTF and over 41.4 billion was transferred as an income to support over 3.7 million poor and unemployed through the delivery of 51,780 projects. This program positively contributes to skilling and elevates poverty in the working class and poor communities. The department will continue to lead and coordinate the expanded public works program, which aims to create work opportunities using labor-intensive method across 3 spheres of government. An estimated 6.1 billion is allocated over the medium term to transfer and subsidize the program. The program also has a skill component for the training of artisans in different fields, which enable the skilled artisan to self-employ or employed in the private sector. This program must be intensified, as in the past financial year, a number of artisans qualified as motor mechanics and auto electricians. As part of the economic reconstruction and recovery plan, the strategic infrastructure project for the development of small harbors commenced by the department in the past financial year. This project is geared towards the development of oceans economy and economically empowering coastal communities in terms of ship repairs and developing the small and medium fishers. The department completed the refurbishing of 13 small harbors in the Western Cape to the value of 500 million. The refurbishment of small harbors in the Western Cape created 925 jobs and empowered local SMMEs to a value of over 116 million. We are expecting the department to continue with the development of small harbors program. In the last financial year, the department commenced with the feasibility study to develop small harbors in the Port St. John's and Port Alfred. This project will enable the development of the oceans economy for the local economic communities, enable inclusive economy, developed and job creation. The Wellises or Rural Bridges, SIP 25, is intended to provide rural communities with access to markets and social services. Without these bridges, in the rainy season, it is impossible, for example, to access schools and healthy facilities. The department has been playing and has an important role to play in the land and the spatial justice. According to the annual performance plan of the department, it is reported that in the support of the spatial justice and land reform programs, the department has to date released 214 properties measuring 30,277 hectares for land. In honor of Sitwalande Nelson Mandela, who taught us that democracy means work, bread, water, salt for all, the ANC supports this budget, which if properly utilized, will bring us closer to the Matiba's vision. Thank you very much.
Any member of Al Jamaa in the house? Member of NCC? Anyone from the PIC? UIT? I see no member of the good. So the next speaker is the Honorable Member E.M. Bath from the DA. It is his maiden speech.
House Chairperson, Minister, Deputy Minister, MECs, honorable members and viewers, the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure has long held the catalytic potential for driving and delivering economic growth and job creation to the benefit of all South Africans through its mandate to deliver and maintain infrastructure on behalf of the state. The department has, however, fallen short of achieving its potential of igniting socio-economic growth.
Chair, House Chair.
With great excitement and
I think
anticipation,
you have to stop.
the
when I say
Democratic
House
Alliance
Chair.
welcomes the appointment of
Thank you. House Chair, that minister over there is busy taking pictures and you don't see him. I rise on a point of order that white minister is out of order. He's taking pictures of his colleague here in the house.
That is not a point of order. Can you please continue?
Order, it's house rules. So now you guys are even coming here and not implementing house rules.
And house rules only apply to us Africans, but not to the DA white supremacist party.
Honorable Minister, did you take a picture? Honorable Minister. I didn't recognize you, member. I'm still busy with a point of order that Honorable Matthijs raised. Honorable Minister, it is not allowable to take pictures in the house, please. Will you please not continue to do so? Honorable.
Sorry, Chairperson, I apologize.
The department has, however, fallen far short of achieving its potential of igniting socio-economic growth. But it is with great excitement and anticipation that the Democratic Alliance welcomes the appointment of Minister Macpherson to the 7th Parliament, alongside the continued leadership of Honourable Zikalala as Deputy Minister.
Chairperson.
The Minister's energetic commitment to evaluating
Chair.
the department's key strategic.
Yes, thank you so much, Chair. Chair, I don't think an apology is enough. Can the minister please delete the pictures? It will never be enough.
His maiden speech, and as far as I know, the POPI Act covers each and everyone in this house as well. The minister already apologized for the picture he's taken. As far as I know, the member that is on the floor doesn't have a problem that the minister took a picture of him. Member, do you have a problem? Must the minister erase that? Settled, thank you. Please continue. Honorable members, I'm not going to take any points of orders on the same issue. We will continue. Do you have a point, honorable member? Do you have a new point of order?
Mqinisihlalo ngifuna nje ukwazi nasi into yokuthi mawuthi umuntu othethwe isithombe akanamlando umlando ukuthatha isithombe ngaphakathi. It's not a person lo ombuzako ukuthi yena unekinga na. Umraro munye la, munye umraro. Is it allowed phela? Thank you.
Honorable members, I'm already ruled on this point of order. Any member who has a grave problem with the ruling has the right to write to the Ethics Committee and raise your point of order and your concern with the Ethics Committee. Thank you.
On a point of order, please, Chair.
Apology to the Rules Committee. Thank you.
Chairperson.
Member, you can continue.
Chairperson, on a point of
I'm
order.
not going to.
Chairperson.
Do you want to raise on a new point of order? Because
I'm
if it's the
raising-
same point of order,
Chairperson,
I'm not going to entertain.
Ke kgopela go raise a point of order. A re bolele ka POPI Act mo. Re bolela ka ntho e wrong e minister a e dirileng. So re kgopela gore o kgopele minister a tilitse di pictures mo la phone ya gago. A se nnete ntho o e bolelang chairperson ya gore POPI Act e reng. Is the principle of this house. Ke molao wa ntlo e gore ra swanela go tšea dinepe. So ga o tlo dumela gore re dire jwalo, next time re tlo dira jilo and ga o tlo rata. Because ga re tlo thoma re tšea dinepe, molao mola o sa dumele, ga se nnete. Re kgopela re o lokiše se se diragetšego gone jwalo, o kgopele ministera a solve mathata a gage ka mokgwa dilo di tsamailego ka gona. A re dumele. Ke molao, re latela molao, re boditše ke lena la re molao o gona, a re tsamayeng ka molao.
Molao wa hlomphiwa, Minister, Chairperson, a re hlomphe molao.
Honorable member, you've repeated the same thing 5 times now. I've heard. I've already ruled on that as well. If you have any problems or any other member in the House have a problem with the same rule that I've already done, please write to the Rules Committee. Honorable member, you can continue.
Thank you, Chairperson. The Minister's energetic commitment to evaluating the department's key strategic position within the economic cluster, aiming to turn South Africa into a construction site to stimulate the macro and microeconomy and drive real job creation, is fully supported. Chairperson, I acknowledge that the budget presented by the Minister today is an inherited one. Despite this, the Democratic Alliance supports this budget with condition. It is critical that the deliverables outlined in the APP and this budget be achieved. Myself, together with the committee sitting before you today, will collectively and diligently hold this department and its leadership to account. While it is clear that the Minister has hit the ground running with cost-saving initiatives related to the leasing and acquisition of state accommodation and exposing the theft of hundreds of millions of taxpayers' rands, we implore the Minister, once he has found his footing, to critically review this budget. Such a review must be done with the intention of redirecting the department's resources and focus to strategic programs such as the Property Management Trading Entity and remodeling the expanded Public Works program. Programs which hold high social and financial returns, benefiting the average South African whilst building the image and trust towards the department. Chairperson, it would be remiss of me not to mention that the young man standing here before you in this house today is a proud product of this very department. Having received a bursary from the Department of Public Works in 2010 to study a degree in the built environment, I was led through the department's graduate program to an unbelievable 11-year career in property and infrastructure management. I am therefore fully aware of the department's challenges, its structural and leadership issues, but I also understand its potential to contribute to building South Africa. It goes without saying that I, like the DA, am firmly invested in the department's success. Chairperson, I would like to highlight some critical aspects related to the infrastructure and property management, which require urgent attention. President Ramaphosa acknowledged the importance of infrastructure investment in his 2022 State of the Nation address, mentioning the word infrastructure 19 times, highlighting its strategic role in South Africa's economic reconstruction and recovery. The Global Infrastructure Hub, established by the G20, found that public investment in infrastructure can yield up to 1.5 times the initial investment within 2 to 5 years. Chairperson, that is 150% return, significantly higher than any other form of public spending. This department holds the constitutional mandate to deliver on this objective as the landlord of the state's over 80,000 properties. The PMTE was established to achieve exactly this. Public entities are created to fulfill specific economic or social objectives by leveraging social or private sector efficiencies while upholding public accountability. The PMTE is therefore the perfect vehicle for the development and management of complex infrastructure projects and the state's broad property portfolio. However, despite the PMTE being operational since 2015, it is still not a registered entity by the National Treasury due to underperformance and poor audit outcomes. This undermines the department's ability to deliver on its mandate. It is unacceptable, Chairperson, that 25 years after Cabinet in 1999 approved the establishment of a state property agency, that we still do not have a registered, functional, or efficient, effective entity. Achieving full operation of and registration of the PMTE would arguably be the most significant achievement for this administration, unlocking the value of the state's property assets. Chairperson, in supporting this budget, the DA recommends the following: that the Minister must implement an action plan to register the PMTE with National Treasury, ensuring that we not only better develop new infrastructure, but also maintain and improve existing assets, providing essential services to all South Africans. With a notable reduction in budget of 3.8 billion for PMTE, this has to be created in order to close this gap. Legislation must also be introduced to ensure client departments pay their rental and utilities promptly. The South African balance sheet must also be scrutinized to ensure the accurate valuation of its immovable assets, through which it can attract credit and investment. Is it correct to say, Chairperson, that South Africa's balance sheet for immovable assets is only worth 1.54 billion? One must prioritize hiring and retaining skills of professionals to elevate the department's standards to those of leading property funds and do more for the youth and particularly women. The department must renew its approach to developing large-scale catalytic road, rail, and port infrastructure. One must also enhance project management practices to ensure quality infrastructure is delivered on time and in budget. One must also contain construction costs to ensure fair distribution of contracts, avoiding allocations to connected contractors. The department has a mammoth task ahead of it, and in its quest to turn South Africa into a construction site, grow our economy and create jobs. But we as the DA believe that under the leadership of Minister and Deputy Minister, taking into consideration this reply, we can break ground and get the job done. Thank you.
Honorable TV Mashele from the ANC.
House Chairperson, Minister and Deputy Minister, the Director General of the Department and your entire team, members of the Portfolio Committee, as well as members of Parliament, members of public, South Africa and the people, Riperil. I bring to you revolutionary greetings from the People's Movement, the African National Congress, whose character remains unshaken to advance the people's interests, particularly the poor and the working class. Our continuous involvement in the struggle of the poor and the working
Honorable
class.
member, can you please take a seat? Your point of order, please.
Is the member prepared to take a question on the false statements he makes that ANC is now the people's movement advancing the cause for the disadvantaged in this country? Is he prepared to take a question on that?
No problem. I'm going to take you through step by step because you want to break your virginity in Parliament today. We'll make sure that we move with you immediately when I finish talking to the people of South Africa. Our movement, the African National Congress, is conscious of its agenda to accelerate economic growth and economic development to improve the socio-economic conditions of our people, place infrastructure development at the center of its agenda. Our analysis appropriates an important role of infrastructure development, which include economic recovery and economic stability. Approaching to this strategic objective, it is infrastructure development that is sustainable, resilient, and inclusive. Understanding its revolutionary pillars and parameters, the movement established this department to champion transformative infrastructure that provides long-lasting socio-economic value for all the people of our country. In our view, it is this infrastructure development shall create conditions to transition towards a resource-sufficient and sustainable economy. Transformative infrastructure in the ANC's perspective shall be socially inclusive, and its architectural designs be guided by the notion of being beneficiary to the greatest number of our people, particularly the poor and the working class. The budget votes, Chair, in our analysis should continue to de-racialize the civil and built engineering environment and open it to more and more marginalized people of our country. Infrastructure development pre-1994 was a source of discrimination, colonization, and apartheid preservation. However, this department, through its regulatory prompts and transformative agenda, must transform the discipline of civil and built environment to reflect our society and the societal agenda. The task that the department should be occupied with includes, amongst others, to build a societal infrastructure that makes it possible for poor kids and children to go to schools without crossing dangerous rivers and deep rivers. Our ambulance needs infrastructures that will enable them to access sick patients closer to their homes without any challenges. Our police vans need to chase criminals without the fear of hitting potholes in the process. The people need infrastructure that will bring closer to them economic and business activities. The people of our country need infrastructure that will be modernized rural areas and accelerate the urbanization of our outskirts areas through infrastructure development. The African National Congress House Chair supports this budget vote. We are here today, we are calling upon House Chair South Africans to join us in our journey of building South Africa. We are not surprised when the cashless ATM ascend to the podium and oppose this budget vote. At the same time, we are not surprised by those that comes to Parliament wearing protective clothing, creating a shortage outside in the market, claiming to be revolutionary. At the same time, House Chair, we were not surprised when we saw them inviting their grandfathers arriving here in their military regalia, quoting struggle veterans, claiming to be more revolutionary. South Africa and the people, these ones must be unmasked for what they are. They are just holopolois, pickpocketers, triggers, lumpen proletarians. We are not going to build the country.
On a
with
point
them.
of order, House Chair, and you have seen me. You have seen me. And you are allowing this guy to call us pickpocketers. You have seen me. That same guy. I don't hear you. What you saying, Chair?
Nothing to unmask, it's okay.
Can you please, honorable members, Honorable Matthijssen, can you please stop speaking?
It's simple like that.
Can you please repeat your point of order? I couldn't hear you.
Thank you, House Chair. House Chair, I just want to refer you to Rule 68 on relevance of the speech. Can the member stick to the speech? And secondly, to that speech that is making there, in his trying to impress Helen Zille and Tony Leon.
That is
Can you
not
also
point of
speak
order,
to
please.
Palapal?
Honorable member, you can continue.
These ones must be
Honorable
unmasked.
member, can you please, was you first? This side, that side, okay. Honorable member, your point of order, and then
Mgcini Sihle, Mgcini
Honorable Matthijssen, Honorable Matthijssen, Honorable Matthijssen, Honorable Matthijssen, you are disrupting this plenary. I am warning you. Please, can you speak? Put up your hand for a point of order. Honorable Matthijssen, I'm warning you for the second time. Honorable Matthijssen, I'm warning you for the second time. You are drowning out the other member who raised the point of order. You not stop speaking. If you are not honorable. Order, members. Honorable member, can you please raise your point of order?
Mgcini Sihle, uyabona umuntu makafuna ukuthi ahwathe angifuni nokuthi ngithi umuntu uyadelela because it will be unparliamentary. Isokaneli ngiliba ukuthi lihoqisa igama lokuthi kunama pickpocketers. Ngicabanga ukuthi umndeni wakhe nezizukulwane ngizazicatsha iminyaka ezako eminingi. Akuna pickpocketer la. Yangithola if kune pickpocketer mhlawumbe ukhuluma ngabantu bekhabo nabantu amacolleague wakhe angazosinyaza lapha. Ngiyakuthokoza Mgcini Sihle.
Honorable member, As far as I could hear, the member didn't mention any persons or any member in his house's name. He made a general reference, so that is not a point of order. Can we continue, please?
No.
Honorable Piri?
If the shoe fits
Sorry,
where
Honorable
it-
member, can
House
this
Chair,
not a point of order?
no pens should be unmasked for what they are. Thank you very
Honourable
much. The
member.
ANC supports the budget vote.
For a second.
Na re tlo telela ke ma sell out ya. A re tlo dumela gore re telele gona ka mokgwa o.
Order, please.
On a point of order.
Order, please.
God, on a point of order, Chair.
Member, there was a point
Chair.
of order here first that I wanted to attend to. Thank you.
Thank you, House Chair. Before we proceed, and as much as all of us we are agreeing, we must maintain the decorum. Can the member there withdraw the fact of this guy? We are all honorable members. Secondly, House Chair, you can't allow a person to call, there are, you know, there's a certain words that was racial that she has raised. Can you allow her to withdraw? Thank you.
Honorable Member Piri, was there a specific thing that she said? Honorable Member, can you please repeat what you said that was disgraceful? Did you make any comment? Can you please just apologize?
What must I apologize for? The Dean helping you co-chair, or what must I apologize? Because Dean have been co-chairing with you the whole time. What do you want me apologizing for, ma'am?
Honorable members, you disrupted. Honorable members, can I please call on you all to respect the institution of this House? Previously in this meeting, there was a big point of order on someone calling someone else not an honorable member. And now some of you did the same thing. So can we just please respect each other and don't disrupt the plenaries for frivolous things that is actually not contribute to the decorum of this House and do not contribute to the stand of us as parliamentaries, to the people who chose us to sit here. Can I please call on each and every one of you not to call each other one names and not to disrupt this House? This is the ruling. Thank you. Members. Yeah. The next speaker is the Honourable Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Yeah, Chair, I asked for a point of order.
Honourable Chair, do you have a new point of order, or is it a point of order that has reference to any of these?
I have a point of order on you.
You can raise the point of order.
On you.
Raise the point of order.
You keep hearing people insulting us. Very much illiterate, clueless people who have no regard
Honourable
for the
member, can
rules
you
of
just
this
stop
house.
there? Can you just
And you
stop there?
continue to giggle and allow them to do that. I've observed you many a times giggling on that chair every time they do that. And at this point, it's enough. If you cannot do what you are there on that chair for, you must then just allow the House to flow the way it is, because at this point it has degenerated. People are throwing insults, you are not calling them. You call a certain side, you don't call out the other side.
Honourable
Number 2, Rule 85, 1, 2, and 3. Anyone who wants to come here and do a name and shame or whatever they want to impugn on another member, they must do it according to the rules. If there's a pickpocketer, do it according to the rules, because we can't sit here with criminals. If you know criminals, go take them through. We are not going to be undermined by clueless, illiterate people.
Yeah. Honorable member, I've already ruled on everything that you've mentioned now. And I do apologize if I sometimes find some things amusing as the rest of the people in the House. I also just want to say that in your point of order, you were very close to also casting aspersions and calling other people sort of names that's very close to unparliamentary. So I repeat, again, if you are not happy with the ruling that I made, please feel free to write to the Rules Committee. I've
Gladly.
ruled on all these
We'll do
things
it
that you've
gladly.
raised. And can we continue with the plenary? Thank you. Minister, please.
Thank you very much, House Chair, and thank you to those that chose to use this to provide constructive inputs and debate. Honourable Peary, I think that the point that you've made and echoed by the Honourable Bath around a completed asset register must be one of the critical focuses of us going forward, as well as being able to steady the financial ship of this department. I want us to be a cash positive, cash generating department so that we can use that money to better South Africa as a society, to invest in our schools, invest in our clinics and our police stations and magistrates' courts. Thank you to the IFP for the words of support. And indeed, we share your commitment to fight back against the construction mafia. The Honourable Van Staden, thank you for your kind words. And indeed, we must work together to find solutions to securing a broad, acceptable future for all South Africans in this country. The Honourable Member from Action SA, I'm absolutely committed to relooking at EPWP. It's something that the Deputy Minister and I share, that we must look at how do we reform that and how do we ensure that people get skills, that there's an exit strategy and that they are not shackled to a lifetime of being in EPWP. And also the ATM supports that. Thank you to the Honourable Bath for your kind words and also for the way in which we need to look at PMTE. I think that absolutely we must ensure that we give effect to the Cabinet decision to establish it as an entity. But in order to do that, we need to sort out some of the fundamental problems that exist within PMTE, and the first of that is knowing what we own and what we don't own, and also being able to rationalize that. Now, honourable members, for some people in this room who claim to be combat ready, who claim to be guerrilla fighters, and who claim to be at the forefront of fighting some kind of struggle now in South Africa, they're incredibly sensitive. And the moment you say something, it's like a flesh wound to them, and they jump up and down, and they've got a million things to say. And do you know what the most striking thing about today was? Do you know what animated EFF and MK members the most? Was when I spoke about the construction mafia. Why is that? Why is that that's the one thing that animates them the most, is when we say we want to fight back against the construction mafia. And if the shoe fits, you should wear it. Particularly if it's in Gucci and size 9.
Please take it to your point of order.
Mgcinihlalo bengithanga ngisabuyini. Mara isokaneli uhonorable minister uma ukuthi mhlambe bambhemise into embi or isihlahla esimbi ngiba uhlanza ase belief ngoba into ayikhuluma la ukuthi ukhuluma nathi asimngane akho thina ne abangani bakho ungabatshela into leyo abantu laba abafuna ama 30% ubaqale ngaphakathi kuwe, otherwise yeah, okay, ngiyathokoza.
Honourable, I'm going to allow the second point of order, if that is the same point of order. Is
No,
it the
it's
same?
a different point of order. The minister must respond to the white man, Jean du Plessis, who has captured.
Sir, can you please just,
Department of Public
Honourable
Works.
Member, can you please just hold so that I can make a ruling on this point of order before you continue? Honorable Member, as I previously ruled, it is a general statement that the Minister made. He did not mention any names or cast aspersions on any specific person, so that is not unparliamentary and it is not a point of order.
He mentioned our party. He mentioned our party.
A reference to a party is allowable as long as there's no aspersions cast on a specific person mentioned as mentioned. He has to mention names for us to rule that it's unparliamentary. Chairperson's point of order.
Yes, Chairperson. The minister mentions the
Already,
mafia.
I will allow you when that other person is finished with his point of order.
The minister mentions the mafia, but the real mafia who has captured the Department of Public Works is Duplessis, John Duplessis. And that man has irregular tenders in that department. Can he, if he's fighting the mafia, make sure that he deals with John Duplessis? We have written to the former minister, Sihle Zikalala, complaining about this white man. One white man, untransformed company, getting so many tenders from that department.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
Where does it?
As I said again, if you have any proof, please bring a substantive motion to the House on the member you referred to in your speech that you made instead of the point of order. Please, Honorable Reader, your point of order.
Thank you, House Chair. The minister mentioned me by name. He said, ever ready. He said that. I heard him. He mentioned me by name. So you can go to the Hansard and you'll check it.
Honorable Reader. Order, please. Order, please. Honorable Ready, as far as I know, we are all honorable members in this house. I don't think when the minister said ever ready, he referred to you. He had to say honorable ready. So that is not a point of order. Minister, can you please continue?
You know, Chair, there's a saying that some jokes write themselves, and some members are definitely proving that today. Chair, you know, the Honourable Reddy came here and said a lot and said nothing at the same time. And what he says should be taken with an enormous pinch of salt, because this is a man who has joined more political parties than there are days in a week. He has gone from the DA to the ANC to MK. He even took over someone else's party that they started.
Point of order.
That's the opportunist that he is.
Order.
Honourable Chairperson, I want to take.
Honourable Minister. Honourable Ready, your point of order, please.
Mr. Chair, House Chair, he has mentioned my name. This matriculant who needs to go back to school. If he wants to get personal, he is actually degrading himself. He's making himself really too small here. Focus on the issues.
Point of order,
Behave
Honourable
like the GNU position he's been appointed. Behave like a minister.
Honourable
This
Ready,
petty type of
this is a speech
debate
you're
that he's
making. What is
engaging
your
in,
point of
that's
order?
what makes the simple point of order is he's casting personal aspersions. He's mentioning my name and he's doing that, and he's not supposed to do that. It's actually dishonorable of him to do that.
Honourable Minister, will you please continue?
Thank you. I'm not finished yet. And let me tell you, I want to take the Honourable Reddy's suggestions on how to save money at face value. Because this department spends millions and millions of rands in paying for his president's compound after he captured the state and robbed us of billions and trillions of rands. So ask your president to give us back the money that this government paid to secure him in comfort. Now, you know, honourable members, I may not have the qualifications.
Honourable Minister, can you please take the honourable member of the EFF?
No, thanks so much, Chairperson. I'm Honorable Mushala. Yes, I think the gentleman is taking it personal. And the guy, you can see the real racist.
What is your point of order?
You
please,
look at
honourable
him,
member?
you look at that guy speaking there. We just see racism by our eyes. He must come down a bit. The guy must come down a bit
Order, Chair.
and speak with us. He must not shout at us. He's shouting at us. He must stop what he's doing. He's a pure
Honorable member.
racism. White supremacy and white domination is what we are seeing today. He must not do those things to us. Shouting at us like we are children. It must come to an end. He must remain calm. We can't allow that. Thank you.
He's not fit for his position.
Honorable members, I'm seeing various hands for points of order. Can I please ask you, I'm not going to rule on any speech. And if you're going to start with a speech, I will not rule on that. If you raise a point of order and you are allowed to raise your point of order, it's not speech time.
But a racist will remain a racist. The gentleman is a racist of high note.
Thank you, Mqinisalo. Mqinisalo, indlu le iyamoshakala. Isokane eli njengoba ngikhe ngatsho ekuthomeni. Abomkhulu wakhe nabobamkhulu wakhe. Abomkhulu wakhe nabobamkhulu wakhe bathatha izwe leli la. Namhlanje uzosibhekela uzositshela ngama-trillion. 300 years. Nifuna ukubuyisa leyo nto trek. Hayi man, ma-comrade anamahloni. Do you have GNU nalabantu abanje? Hayi anamahloni. My point ukuthi aboyihlo. Abobamkhulu wakhe basidela bathatha nemali yale country. Uzositshela ngomuntu ongekho la.
Honorable member.
Yeah, akukhulume nalo msana man. Honorable member uyasidedelela man. Angazoba extra omncane la.
Hey, your high blood pressure.
Akuna speech asikhulumako.
Honorable member,
Ngena wena. Honorable member ungena.
Honorable member, I warn you. I really warn you all. If you are going to continue like this, I will call an end to this plenary because you are so disruptive that is no reason to continue with it because none of you are making.
Because we are failing.
It's fine.
Contributing to this debate. Honorable Husinger.
Thank you, Chairperson. I would like to call a point of order, particularly on the Assembly Rule 69, which deals with disorderly conduct and in particular the A section of 69, which speaks about deliberately creating disruption. Clearly, Chairperson, this is what we are dealing with here. Points of order are called on an emotional basis instead of quoting particular rules of this House. And therefore, Chairperson, I would suggest that you do not allow it any further and that you investigate the conduct of the members based on Rule 69, particularly the A section of Rule 69. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. My ruling is I will not entertain any more points of order on the same topic. Minister, will you please continue?
Thank you. Chair, you know what this demonstrates is why the GNU is crucial for the success of South Africa. Because you want to, we have a number of South Africans who want South Africa to be peaceful, prosperous, and deliver. And then you have another group that all they want to do is destroy South Africa. That is what binds them in their quest. Now, you know, House Chair, I might not have the qualifications of some members in this House or in other political parties. But let me tell you what I've never done. I've never stolen a cent from any banks that look after pensioners in Limpopo. That's what I've never done. And you will recall that at the time, a particular member in this House was actually the Treasurer General of that political party. Now, I agree with Honorable Piri when she says we should look at investigations.
On a point of order.
And we should reopen.
On a point of order, Chair.
Please keep
On a point of order, Chair.
Honorable members, we are running out of time for this
No, no,
plenary.
no, no, no.
Your point of
We are
order, do
going
you
to
want to
sit
raise a
here.
new point of order?
We are going to sit here until
failing
you
to
are
do your
able
job.
to run the house accordingly. A member standing on that podium just insulted our Treasurer General. You kept quiet. He must withdraw what he said about the Treasurer General of the EFF. He must withdraw it. He called him by her title, by her name. It's not a general statement. We are not going to sit here and be insulted. And it's in its own nature. White racists do that. And
Honorable
likewise,
member.
House Negroism defend that.
That's what they do.
We are not going to sit here and be insulted. He must withdraw. He must withdraw.
The racists must withdraw, National Chair.
Honorable member, the minister, the ruling is as follows. Honorable Minister, you made a reference to a member of this House, and therefore it is unparliamentary, and I would like you to ask to withdraw that statement. Thank you.
Sure, I withdraw. Chairperson, let me say that I agree with the Honourable Peary when we say that we must investigate certain issues within public works and infrastructure. And that's why I want to publicly call that we reopen the investigation into On Point Engineering, which stole 52 million rand from the people of this country in Limpopo and delivered absolutely nothing. We're going to start where it absolutely hurts, and we will never surrender, we will never stop, and we are going to build this country together. I thank you.
We don't care. We don't care. We'll expose your racist tendency here.
Order, that brings us to the end of the debate. Members,
On a point of order, Chair.
honorable
On a point of
member,
privilege.
we are done with the debate.
Chair, is it parliamentary that a toy soldier can wear 4 jerseys at once?
Honorable members, please take your seats. Honorable members, please take your seats. This mini plenary did not rise yet. Members are reminded that 3 debates are scheduled simultaneously for 16:15 today. The Trade, Industry and Competition Budget Vote debate will be held in Good Hope Chamber, while the Tourist Budget Vote debate will take place in Committee Room 46 here. Additionally, the Cooperative Government and Traditional Affairs Budget Vote debate will take place in Committee Room S12A. That concludes the debate and the business of this mini plenary session. The mini plenary will now rise.